The San Francisco 49ers have always been blessed with great quarterbacks, including contemporary stars Steve Young and Joe Montana, and old-timers like Frankie Albert, Y.A. Tittle, and the Bay Area's own John Brodie. Despite Brodie's obvious passing credentials, it was many years before the native son was finally appreciated in his hometown. Still competitive today on the Seniors Golf Tour, it was that same fiery spirit that helped Brodie turn his biggest detractors into lifelong fans.
To the ever-young John Brodie, age is merely a state of mind. These days, you'll find the former 49ers quarterback on the fairways of the Senior Professional Golf Tour, still in fierce competition with veteran athletes who have successfully turned back the clock.
Well, Freddie Haas last week was under par. He's 75 years old. Jerry Barber does it all the time. And none of these guys play old. They just happen to have birth certificates that say that. I feel like if there was anything that I'd like to do over again in life, it would be the whole thing. I haven't got one kick.
On the ground or in the air, it's touchdown 49ers.
John Brodie's career is indeed worth a rerun. The Bay Area native came out of Stanford University in 1957, the first-round draft pick of the hometown team. But those early days provided little action for John, who spent most of his time watching starting quarterback Y.A. Tittle from the bench.
Touchdown 49ers!
I can remember walking into camp the first day, and we had a meeting, and I said to Earl Morrill, I asked him who he thought was the best player in the league at that position, and he said, the bald-headed guy over there, and if you think you're going to do anything about his job, you got another thing coming. We're playing the Colts, and the score is like 14-10, and there's about a minute and 15 seconds left. And we've got a guy named Y.A. Tittle who is just about on the ground, and Albert turns around to me and says, Brodie. I said, yeah. He said, get in there. And I thought, now this is funny. I haven't played a play all year. Here we got a minute to play in the game. We're down on about their 15 or 20 yard line. And then as I was about to go in, he said, what are you laughing at? I said, the situation, this is just kind of ironic. I said, I hope something good happens. I hope they know what they're doing, because I don't have a clue, Coach.
There are 47 seconds left as John Brodie replaces the injured Tittle. Brodie's pass is letter perfect, and McElhenney hauls it in to overcome the Colts, 17-13 in a cardiac finish that throws the Western Conference into a three-way tie between Baltimore, San Francisco, and Detroit.
By 1961, Tittle had been traded, and Brodie became San Francisco's starter. But a weak supporting cast, frequent coaching changes, and ill-timed errors made the 49ers' beleaguered quarterback a target of derision for the Boo Birds at Kezar Stadium.
There was no problem with me understanding what the fans wanted. They wanted my Fanny. There was never a quarterback coach. There was never thought to be a need for one. And I really had not learned how to play quarterback. And I'd been there for 8 years. I'd just get by on my natural ability, and I could throw the ball, and I could move around laterally. So that was the way it worked.
Brodie's floundering career got a boost in 1965 when John's former rival, Y.A. Tittle, returned to San Francisco to become John's personal quarterback tutor.
When Tittle got here, he changed the whole mind of the organization, and he did it beautifully. He took everybody into session and convinced us all how good we could be, and then showed us how to get there. And I mean, we were good. And from then on, I had a great time with the fans of San Francisco and playing football.
One thing about John Brodie, I think probably the fans, he's probably the most popular man in San Francisco for 15 years. John Brodie probably got sacked a total of maybe 10 times in his career for one simple reason. When he saw somebody coming, he slung that football right in the stands so some kid could go home with a souvenir.
The fans were also pleased with the 49ers' explosive new offense, led by the league-leading passing of the revitalized John Brodie.
Brodie's back to pass. Throws long, Washington, 5-down, touchdown, 49ers.
Sometimes people ask Roman Gabriel who were the best passers that I've ever seen in the game when we were playing, of course. And I look at it from the standpoint of how a guy throws a football as far as a pure passer. John Brodie I don't think John ever threw a duck. He always threw that picture-perfect pass. Great competitor. John Brodie was a good leader for the 49ers and one of the great pure passers in the game.
Brodie was accurate. Some guys can throw long, but they aren't accurate. They have a strong arm, but they can't put the ball on the fingertips. He could. I classified John Brodie as a big play quarterback. My 1967 team only lost one game, and Brodie beat us 27-24.
Brodie's gonna run. He's down to the 5.
John Brodie was a quarterback that gave me more trouble than any quarterback I ever played against, and I played against some pretty good ones. Brodie was smart. He certainly knew my weaknesses because they usually caught some passes on me. And he was a quarterback in the Tarkenton mold, I think, smart. Even when he was older, he got better because he knew what he could do, and that's what he did.
Len Rhodey said, you know, you were kind of you were demanding, very demanding, until about 1970. And he said, at that time, you knew what you were doing, they knew you knew what you were doing, and you never did get mad again. Your personality actually changed, and I guess that's true.
All right, Doug, this time give me that 8-yard out. Red right pattern 55, X-pinch release, half back out, on one, ready break.
I was able to understand the specific function that everybody was there to do, and I could help them when we had a problem without just yelling. I mean, I never saw that do much good.
385!
The game is played to win. Anybody thinks that that's not true is wrong.
The 49ers were perennial winners in Brodie's final seasons. Twice he led them to the NFC Championship game. And in 1972, he ignored injuries by coming off the bench to beat Minnesota, giving San Francisco its third straight division crown.
This ball game meant whether we were in the playoffs or whether we were not. We were a half a game one way or the other with the Rams. If we win the game, we go. And we got to about the middle of the first half, we're going nowhere, and now I'm getting antsy. And I said, I'm going crazy sitting here. I'm ready to play. I think I can do some good. So we went in there, and a couple guys pulled balls out of their ears, and we all got caught up in it.
With 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, Brodie capped his career with a flourish. And the one-time 49er whipping boy became a Bay Area legend for all time.
John back to pass. Straight back he goes. Has time. Throws for Witcher. Touchdown, 49.
Having been a native of San Francisco, I had the best. I played for the team I wanted to without having to even move homes. Pro football has given me an interest in life because it's given me a lot of self-confidence. It's given me a lot of esteem. It's been a long road since then, but it's been great.
The Lions and 49ers set to go in the final regular season game of 1992. It's our last program of the year as well. We've enjoyed being here each week, serving up your pregame appetizer before the Monday night action under the lights. Have a great holiday season. I'm Charlie Steiner. Thanks for joining us all year here, and we'll see you again next fall for another season of NFL Monday Night Magazine.